back to the Spotlight Games podcast for episode, I almost said 417, 217. Tonight we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts, GTA 6, and a bunch of other video game news. I'm your host, Patrick, and dropping in alongside me, my sweet dumpster boy, Kamen Darty. Kamen, we are returned 3 weeks later. You and I talking about video game content.
You know, Patrick, I feel like our intros of "we have returned" have become more and more frequent.
It has.
And the time in between those is becoming like longer and longer.
It has. I think now is as a good a time as any to tell you. Next Tuesday, you are hosting with Barack Obama. I've asked him to be on the show Tuesday night, and he said yes.
It's true.
He doesn't know what video games are,
true.
but he's going to try. Hiroki says, wow, talking about GTA 6, y'all are the only ones to do it. /ban Heroic Edgar. Just kidding. Kamen, you are so correct that it's coming more and more common that you and I don't do shows together over the course of a couple of weeks. But I'm so happy to be talking to you tonight about video game news because that's what we do here at Spotlight Games Podcast, where we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod. Oh, fuck! Kamen.
You fucked up.
I fucked up.
Made a mistake.
I was going off the top of the dome. I wasn't reading something. And so I just went into the first 199 episodes where I would say at Spotlight Games Pod. But I am wrong. Maybe I'll edit that out and say you can go to Drop In Dropout Pod, where we record every Tuesday night right here on twitch.tv/Drop In Dropout Pod, talking about video game news. So tonight, as I said, Kingdom Hearts, GTA, and all the other things. But before we do that, some very quick housekeeping came in. Last night, JK Games Podcast talked about some D23 news. We're going to be dabbling in some D23 news, but they talked about a bunch of it and talked about some Disney video games. So go give that a listen. And then tomorrow night, right here on the channel, we're doing our Song Battle Jamboree. If you were here for our in-person stream-tacular, I don't remember what we called it, in January, that was one of the things we were supposed to do then, and then we ran out of time, so we didn't do it, and then we made it a channel point goal, and then we reached it, and then we didn't talk about it for like 3 months, and now we're finally doing it tomorrow night. Me, Jake, Josh, and Kayla going to be playing some Song Battle, so I hope you're there in the chat tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Time, to talk a little bit about your favorite video game songs, put them against each other, try to see who makes the best choice along the way, which will be very, very fun. And then, of course, the big headline of the week came in Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern Time, twitch.tv/Drop In Dropout Pod. Rahul Kohli coming on the podcast to talk about games that should. I mean, he's a nobody. He's a hack, is who he is.
I've never heard this guy.
Yeah, but he's coming on the show. Very, very excited. We're going to be talking about, if you saw our Greg Miller episode a few months ago, it's going to be very similar to that. But the prompt this time is games that should, with a bunch of different sub prompts, like games that should get a remake, be a TV show, have more fans, those kinds of things. So very, very excited about that. Hope you drop in alongside Rahul on Thursday and show him the warmest of welcomes. He's going to be me, Kamen, Jerica, and Kayla. We're going to have a full house on that, which will be very, very fun. And keep your eyes peeled in the very near future for some merch announcements. We've been cooking. In fact, I'm wearing one that might be seeing the light of day, but this is not a great version of it for Spotlight Games. So stick around. Maybe look to the beginning of September, perhaps, for some very cool shiz. Kamen, is there anything that you want to say before we start talking about what we've been playing?
Oh.
How did that feel to get
that
off your chest?
Felt really good, actually. That felt really good to get that off my chest.
I'm so glad.
I would love to tell you about this burrito that I ate on Friday, last past Friday.
Please tell me about it.
We had Boys this past Friday, and we decided to make the dumbest burrito in the world. So we made a seafood burrito with every type of seafood that we could put in it. So we're talking, we had like 6 different types of grouper, 3 different types of salmon, lobster, crawfish, yellowtail tin, multiple trouts. $600 worth of fish was put in these burritos.
$600?
$600 of fish. I didn't pay for it.
I was about to say, who paid for that?
I don't. Not
me. You.
Wasn't me, I can tell you that. Do you think that? Look at me. Do you think I can? I'm wearing an old boys in the hood shirt. Think I can afford that?
Well, I think my real question then is, how were they?
Oh my god, Patrick. This was the best goddamn burrito I've ever
Really?
had. So we actually had this discussion because we did this similar when we made the most expensive hot dog of all time several months back.
Okay.
And basically the thought process is that with maximalism is that if you go in a direction to a certain point, then you have like the right amount of things. Then if you go just a little bit further than that, then you have too many things.
Sure.
But real maximalist is if you go past that point where there's so many things that it works again.
Interesting.
And what we
like
found was
maxing? Is that something?
yeah,
Max
we
maxing?
maxing. Yes. Yeah. We did it, and this might not work for everything. Sure. But I feel like the truth is, and we also had this like great chipotle sauce and a great
chipotle.
like cilantro sauce that went with it that was delicious too, that like really helped it out. But like genuinely, I think it was like because we're just messing with fish, you know?
Sure.
So I don't think that there was not a lot of wiggle room to go wrong. Like I think that it was going to end up. I think that if we removed a few ingredients, it would have been bad.
Huh.
But it like
Grouper and
overwhelmingly good. Yeah.
Multiple,
so
in fact.
fucking good. Yeah. We herbed, butter, sauteed the fish.
Okay.
So, you know.
I mean, don't mind if I do, I fear.
You know.
Okay,
so.
well, sounds like I might need to infiltrate Boys to get some grouper burritos soon.
Yeah, it's great.
But Kamen, as you know, and as our audience knows, we like to start our shows here with what we've been playing. And, you know, in fact, you would think it's been 2 weeks since we recorded Spotlight Games, 3 weeks since you and I recorded Spotlight Games. You'd think we have like so many things to talk about in the what we're playing section. A pretty short one this time. I have been playing Dusk Fade, which I did record a whole episode of Drop and Drop Out last week, a bonus drop with Jake for a review. I've since finished the game, but to my understanding, you've also been playing Dusk Fade.
I have. I'm 2 hours in. What is it? Cindertown or Cinder something? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Cindertown, sounds right.
Embertown, Cinder, Ember, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. That's where I'm at in the game right now. So if that tells you anything about like how short of a time I've put into it.
Sure.
I am torn.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, sure.
I'm torn. I believe, based on what I've been told, that it will get better.
Okay.
Because I only have like one additional weapon unlocked, which is like the shotgun.
Yeah.
And it's been like, okay, cool. That's like a little nice, fun little novelty thing, but really hasn't like changed the way the game's played. And like the platforming has been fun, but ultimately, I'm not sold quite yet. I don't feel like I feel like I'm just like the camera is really bad.
Interesting. I didn't quite get that with the camera.
I feel like I'm always getting hit by enemies. Being like, oh, I'm getting hit by enemies because they're off screen and I have like no way to know they're off screen.
Sure.
Because the camera is like spinning in weird ways. And which is like really left me being like feeling like, And what it reminds me a lot of is there was this this game where you get to play as a kangaroo. You know, the old platformer as a kangaroo. They did like a remake of it.
Were you talking about
not Taz?
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I recently played that earlier in the year. They had a PlayStation 4 remake of it. And I recently played that, and I was like, this game kind of reminds me of that, with its like kind of janky in a way.
Sure.
But endearing. That's kind of how I feel right now. I have heard that the game gets significantly better as you put more time into it. So I'm not writing it off yet, but I do think this is going to be a Portal game.
Sure.
Where I have like one headphone in while I'm like, have something on the TV, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, so I think I understand exactly where you're at, because I remember thinking as I was playing, I was a little bit ahead of you. I was maybe like 3 hours ahead of you when I did the review. And so by then I had unlocked a few more things. I hadn't quite unlocked everything, because this game, it takes a shocking amount of time for you to really start like expanding your repertoire for the game in terms of power-ups and all those kinds of things. But for me, by the time I was approaching the end of the game. I was like, okay, I have been, I played it a ton over the weekend. There was a point in which I was like, you know what, I'm not going to try to platinum this or 100% this because we're about to be in the onslaught of video games. So it's like, I'm not going to try to do backtracking and all those kinds of things. But I was able to get a lot as I was going through, and I reached this point over the weekend as I was like kind of approaching the final boss. I was like, man, this game just continues to kind of get better and better as I go. I'm like, is this like pushing a 9 for me?
Wow.
In terms of like where it goes eventually with like, once you have all of the stuff, all of the power-ups, you can do the grind railing because I'm sure you've seen them, but you can't do that yet. There's this sense of movement that you can get to that is really, really fun. And there's like another thing that I didn't know about before. So it was fun to like realize that was another like tool that you eventually get. And then I did the final boss fight and I did the final very like end moment of the game. And it was such a bad experience after having such a good experience that I backslid heavily on this game.
Whoa.
because it left such a bad taste in my mouth. I still would just give it like a 7.5.
Well, hold on. I'm going to back up a second.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, obviously, I'm assuming spoiler
I will
territory.
Do my best to avoid spoilers, and I won't talk about anything story-wise. It'll just be experience-wise. So if you think that's a spoiler, maybe just skip ahead a little bit. But I feel like this game, I was playing on, there's 4 difficulties. I was playing on the 3rd difficulty, which is like maybe hard mode, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
And I never had a single problem the whole game. I would die, but it was never like, man, this, like all of a sudden, I never hit any sort of difficulty spikes. I never really struggled with the game at all. And in fact, I didn't ever really struggle with platforming either. Like there were some times where I would miss here and there or whatever, but I never felt like the game... I felt like if I couldn't do it, it's because I didn't have a thing to do it yet. And so then I would come back later and I can do it now. But the final boss fight of this game does a thing where it's like multiple types of like you finish the fight and then you have to do the fight again. And it does not checkpoint you. And like, sure, this is going to sound like a millennial ass new age fucking bullshit take. They're like, oh, you know, get good, whatever. But I was in this boss fight for like 15, 20 minutes and I'm like 2 hits away from killing this guy and I die. And then I have to do all of it again. And I was like, for a game that so far has not been this bad with checkpointing, because it's the only boss in the game that has 2 like huge phases, I think is why. I was like, so that was a shitty experience. So I dropped it down. I was like, well, I don't want to grind because it's not an easy boss fight, the final boss fight. So like, I don't want to like fight for my life again. Dropped it down to like the 2nd difficulty to do the boss fight, finish it that next time. I was like, okay, great. That was I think a more fair experience, whatever. And then after that, you finish the game with a platforming segment. It's like your classic get out of dodge type thing.
Right.
And when I tell you, Kamen, that was maybe one of the most difficult things I've ever done in a video game, I am not exaggerating. Where out of nowhere, the platforming needed to be pin fucking point precision, that it took me, no lie, 45 minutes to do what ended up being like a 35-second segment. Because it would just... Maybe no, 35 is too short. It was like a 2-minute segment, but you'd get like a minute and a half in and I'd fucking die and I'd have to just start all the way over again. And so it was just this like horrible, out of nowhere, this like horrible checkpointing that the game never had any sort of issue with, where and Cirrus points out, not only are there no checkpoints, but any mistake, you are instantly dead. Like if you miss, if you go the wrong way, if you go left instead of right because you don't know exactly where you're supposed to go, dead, start all the way over. And it's just like it was such a frustrating experience. It was the first time in a long time where I was like, my skin is like crawling. I'm getting so angry at this video game because it felt unfair for no reason. And so then I dropped it down to baby ass baby mode in the hopes that maybe that would be easier, but it didn't. It's platforming. It's not combat and it's instant death. So I just had to fucking figure it out. And I was honestly like, that was the moment where I was like, I am absolutely not going back for any of the collectibles. I just don't care anymore. It left such a bad taste in my mouth that I was done with that game. which is, I was so disappointed by it. And I rage messaged Jake about it. I was like, have you beaten Duskfade yet? He's like, I actually just beat it like 2 hours ago on stream. I was like, and I started typing. He's like, I know exactly what you're about to say. And he was like, go watch my VOD. And he was a lot nicer than I was, but he was getting fucking pissed too. So I guess slight warning about the end of Duskfade.
Love to hear that.
If you're having difficulty issues, you ain't seen nothing yet. At least in my experience. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe people will get to that segment and be like, what the fuck were you talking about? That was so easy, but it was not.
I mean, for me, it's just been, I've been fighting the camera.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's something that like, it's a skill issue of like, I'll get used to the camera. But yeah, it's been, I mean, I plan on beating it. Like, yeah. I've been enjoying it. Feels nice playing a platformer again.
For sure.
Like, these games are few and far between, so getting the ability to play with, get around, hopscotching around and doing all that shit does make me want to go back and play Tai though, and like get the platinum for it. Because I beat Tai, and I'm like, all I need to do is go get a couple of trophies, and I'm done. And I even got the hardest trophy
like off Tai back on the GameCube.
Look, if you can get it on sale, I would highly recommend.
I think I have it on the Switch. I think I got it on sale on the Switch a few months ago.
It's a fun game. Like it's janky and there's frustrating moments where it's like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Controlling is like dog shit. But
for sure.
What do you expect from a game like that? You're kind of like, this reminds me of a PlayStation 2 game.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm
willing to bet, though, final point about Duskfade, I won't be surprised if they patch something to make the end sequence easier because of how difficult it is. But also, it falls into that category for me of like a South of Midnight, where it's like, I really did overall very much enjoy my experience. And I really hope they get a second chance, because I think Duskfade 2 could be like 9+ if they just tweak some things and make it a little more balanced across the board, because overall, like, it's a cool world, it's a cool character, cool story, really pretty. Just left a little to be desired for me as my most anticipated game of August.
Patrick, before we move on to news, I just want to say, I can't remember if I talked about this the other day when I was on here with Jerica, but I went back and played the console version of Vampire Hunters. And for those of you not in the know, Vampire Hunters launched on PC, and it originally launched as like a hallway shooter. So just imagine like one of those side-scrolling auto shooters, like a bullet hell. It's kind of like that, but a bullet heaven. You were just walking down a hallway shooting enemies, and that was that. And that's what I played. And I enjoyed that. The new version of this, the console release, has full open world, like Quake-style maps. So it's essentially, the best way to explain this is, imagine playing Vampire Survivors, but it's also Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah.
Of just loop the map and kill things, and like,
it's a good bit.
As you keep leveling up. Before the boys got up, I had it up playing, and I had one of my buddies like play around, and he's like, I haven't played a video game in years, and he like gets on there, and he's like, he does a run, doesn't make it very far in the run. He's like, okay, I think I figured out like kind of how to use the controls a little bit. I'm like, cool, try it again. So he makes like 10 minutes into the next run. He's like, I gotta get a PlayStation for this. Like, I gotta play this game.
Yeah.
It is so fucking addictive. Like, if you are into bullet heavens at all, because this is a bullet heaven.
Yeah.
It is a bullet heaven in first person. So if you're into bullet heavens at all, and you like the idea of you running around maps with the craziest fucking guns you've ever seen, and they like take up half the screen, it's just guns. And your guns, because the thing is as you level the guns up, the guns will start doing new things. So I had a run, one of my favorite runs I had is I had like 6 miniguns. And when you level them up to a certain point, they start shooting in like horizontal and vertically. So it's just shooting, just like a wave of bullets going, because there's no like reload at that point because it's so high level. It's just like firing at a crazy amount of like bullets on screen. It got so bad on one of the runs that like I was like, I could hear my PlayStation 5 talking to me because of like how many pixel particle effects were on. Yeah, it was great. So if you want to try to melt your console, go give it a shot. It's really fucking fun. I highly recommend trying it out.
How much does it cost roughly?
I got it on sale for $2.99, and I think it's $5.99 normally.
Amazing.
So
certified dumpster
worth
dive
it.
right there.
Certified dumpster dive, worth it. Well, it was a dumpster dive back in the day.
For sure.
I should do what is it? A remake, an updated dumpster dive of the full release of it. Yeah, it's great.
Eula says, "Is there one for atheists like bullet cold indifference of the universe?" Which I think is.
You know what? You know what? There's a certain point. There's some of the names of like some of the relics you can pick up. I'm pretty sure are that, because it is very like it's very like occultish. So
Okay,
I think you might like it.
I like the sound of that. Well, Kamen, let's jump into our first news story. Kingdom Hearts 4 lives. Over the weekend, we got a bunch of new information about Kingdom Hearts 4 at D23. So I'm going to read a little bit about that from Andy Robinson over at VGC. And Eula, I'm so glad you're here. Disney has announced an anime series based on the Square Enix game series Kingdom Hearts and confirmed a release window for the fourth game. Announced during a D23 presentation in California on Friday, Disney said the Kingdom Hearts anime series will be coming to Disney Plus and the Disney Channel. The series is being created in collaboration with Tetsuya Nomura and the creative team at Square Enix, according to the announcement. Quote, ready for a new adventure? An original Kingdom Hearts anime series inspired by the beloved video game franchise is coming soon. And during that same presentation, Disney confirmed that Kingdom Hearts 4 will release in late 2027 and feature a world based on Pixar's Coco, which goes into the second part of this news story, which is about the release date. And it is that Tetsuya Nomura has promised fans that Kingdom Hearts 4 will not be delayed and is coming in late 2027. During the panel, Nomura, who has directed every game in the Kingdom Hearts series, promised players who were skeptical of the late 2027 release window that there was no reason to believe this wouldn't be achieved. Quote, we announced that the game is going to be coming late 2027, and I saw online that some people were saying, oh, you know, maybe the actual release date might still get pushed back. I just wanted to set the record straight. That is not happening. So I do hope that people do look forward to the game coming in 2027. A lot of the marketing for the game has just only started. And so I do hope that people also look forward to hearing more news as well. I feel like we've heard a version of that before of like, this game is coming and then it doesn't. But there's something about the way Nomura is like so aggressive about it that I do believe him. And I do think that this is going to come late 2027. But what did you think? I mean, I know you're not a Kingdom Hearts guy, but did this trailer do anything for you for the new game or for the show?
For the first time in my adult life, I watched this trailer and was like, you know what? I might very well be another person who hates this game even more. I got him.
You did get me. I was like, no way.
It does nothing for, like, I'm sorry. Like, it looks pretty. Like, it does. It looks pretty. But, like, this just, I never got into the originals, and it's really hard to sell me on a fourth installment of a series like this.
That's fair.
You know, so it'd be like, I think it'd be like trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another series to be like, yeah, trying to, like, sell someone on X game in a number of series, but, like, I don't know if there's another franchise that you could compare that's comparable to Kingdom Hearts in its just insane amount of lore that you have to know.
Sure.
And that, I think, is the hardest part. That's tough. Now, here's the thing. I own 1.5, 2.5, another
remix
one,
or something?
3. Yeah, I've got, like, all the ones that you're supposed to have to be able to play. I've got them all.
Yeah.
There was a bet or something that I had that I was like, I will play these games if X happens. And it did never happen.
Sure.
But I still have the game. So they're sitting there. One day, maybe I will hunker down.
I had to show
I'll need to be unemployed, I think, to do it.
Yeah.
I need to get fired for that.
Yeah, probably. I'm not a Disney guy. I like Disney fine, and I like Pixar fine. But I did really enjoy those games when I was a kid. I played, and I say kid, I was a teenager. I played them in high school. I loved 1 and 2. I started 3 years ago after it had already been out. And for some reason, it didn't click for me the way 1 and 2 did. And so I've never actually played Kingdom Hearts 3 past like 30 minutes. And so I'm going to play 3 before 4. But so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm not as excited as Eula or Jake or Nick or Fringe Dip, like the Kingdom Hearts sickos. But I'm somewhere between them and you, but a lot closer to them than you in terms of just my love of the franchise, my like of the franchise maybe is a more apt way to put it. But And I think it's exciting in ways that with this new game, you're going to be able to play as other characters. There's going to be sections where you play as Donald and Goofy, and King Mickey apparently. But then I look at it more and I watch that trailer more that we were just showing on the B-roll, and I kind of get this idea and almost like PTSD light about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, games that I'd like fine, but that are just so big in what they're trying to achieve. And like you play as all sorts of characters in those games, and you have all sorts of mini games and all sorts of things here and there. And that trailer kind of hints to me that we might be getting a similar type of game where now that we're playing as other characters, and I'm sure very specific segments of the game, there's like this voice in the back of my head that's like, is this game going to try to do too much? I don't know.
So here's the thing. I want to ask this question. Tell me what you think. Are we closer to an 8 or closer to a 9?
For Kingdom Hearts 4?
Yeah.
Based on what I just saw there, honestly, probably with how long it's been cooking, I would be willing to bet it's closer to a 9 than an 8, but I will be shocked if it's above a 9, personally.
Right. Kingdom Hearts 4 out of 10. Yeah.
There you go.
Look, I mean, you're not wrong, and I definitely think that there's something to be said about Rebirth, with the fact that the game is half game, half mini game. There are so many egregious amounts of mini games in Rebirth that it's laughable. Like, it's meme worthy about the number of those mini games. And I look at this too and I'm like, this feels like you're cooking, you're moving in a direction that we couldn't. But then again, Rebirth scored really well. Apparently I was the only person that was like, hey, maybe can we not have a fucking dolphin riding mini game right now?
Right.
Just fucking let me move on. Do I need to do a dance segment? Fuck off. Like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, and I worry that Kingdom Hearts dabbles in that same realm of just like doing too much stuff. But at the end of the day, the Eulas and the Jakes of the world are going to be so happy, and that makes me happy that they're like getting to live their dreams. And I'm excited for this. Honestly, my only concern from like a content standpoint with it being Coco is the world that they talked about. I haven't seen Coco, and there's a lot of like newer Pixar and Disney stuff that I've not seen. So I'm like, ooh, I might need to actually catch up on some of this stuff so that I get more out of it. Because back then, we had all seen Tarzan and Alice in Wonderland and all these games or these old movies that like it was pulling from things that when we were kids, but now it's pulling from stuff that from kids now. And so I'm like, ooh, I got to catch up with the kids stuff now.
Which is so interesting that they would do that. That they're like, hey, this series started before you were even born.
Yeah.
We want you to be fans of this, where all the adults are like, I haven't been to a movie theater in years.
Sure.
And you want me to be able to like enjoy these things that I have no connection to. That is, I don't know if you end up losing some of your audience in that. Or maybe. They are just looking to like really pull in the Disney adults like Kayla.
I mean, I would be willing to bet that this game, you said that you have to have the lore of Kingdom Hearts to enjoy these games, and I think to a certain extent you do. But I think the Disney fan service that it provides for a lot of people is enough. That it's like, oh, they're talking about Xehanort and Xemnas. I'm just gonna clock out for a second, and I will just pick up the game when the cinematic is done, and I will get to go shoot a fireball next to Donald Duck and Goofy.
Hold on, is Xamzort and Xemnas an actual character? Because I swear to God, it sounds like he is.
Xehanort and Xemnas are true characters in Kingdom Hearts. That is correct.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah. The Ansem also. Xemnas and Ansem. It's like, so this whole thing with Kingdom Hearts characters, there's the character that are like good, Ansem. Maybe Ansem's not good. I don't remember all the lore, but then they throw the letters around and add an X in there to make them bad. That's like how they do it. So Xemnas and Ansem, it's like there's a word for that, but
who up Zemans there?
That's exactly right.
Xehanort.
So
who
also
Xehanort until it's Zemans.
Correct. Oh, my whole desk just shook because of my laugh. Kayla also says, why are y'all sleeping on Coco? OMG. I have slept on just about everything Disney Pixar in the last like 10 years. So it's nothing to do with Coco.
Honestly, I haven't seen a Marvel film since Shang-Chi.
Yo, really? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Die
like
Hard
I'm assuming
just
that they're
didn't
going to
care.
do a Marvel and a Star Wars section. Like I feel like that's a slam dunk, easy choice. And I think makes sense why they didn't show that yet. I think Coco is a more inspired thing to announce. And also, as Sirius was saying earlier in the chat, it looks so good. The pre-rendered looking stuff
Yeah.
of the Coco world, which is cool. So yeah, that is the update on Kingdom Hearts. I'm sure there will be so many more updates over the next several months as we get more info. I bet we're gonna get like as we get closer and closer, it's just gonna be like full on. Just we're gonna be obliterated with Kingdom Hearts marketing. I'm sure. So that is exciting, and of course, we're gonna cover it right here on the Spotlight Games podcast. Came in next up. Something I wasn't expecting to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
But GTA 6 leaks have happened. There was a gameplay leak of two videos and a picture of the map that was posted earlier. And I'm going to read about it. We're going to talk about it. This is, again, VGC. This time, Andy Robinson. Videos claiming to show Grand Theft Auto 6 gameplay are being circulated online by a group protesting its lack of a physical disc version. The footage, which VGC is not able to share, which also we're not sharing because I don't want this video taken down, is being widely circulated on social media. It appears to show gameplay of the much anticipated Rockstar sequel a week before its planned Netflix reveal. One video shows Jason, one of GTA 6's two protagonists, playing a basketball minigame at the house featured in the game's reveal trailer. Notably, the footage shows Jason increasing a focus stat for successfully landing a shot, suggesting the game could feature RPG-style mechanics. A second video alleging to show GTA 6 gameplay features a driving scene in which Jason crashes into a delivery vehicle before engaging in a fist fight. If authentic, the footage appears to confirm that vehicles will require gas to drive. Cyberleak, spelled L-E-E-K, and they had a little picture of an onion guy. The group claiming responsibility for the alleged videos said it has targeted Rockstar parent Take-Two in protest of its decision to sell digital pre-orders for GTA 6 and not offer a physical version. The group also published what it claims to be the game map for GTA 6. At the time of publication, blah, blah, blah. Since they've been taken down, Rockstar hasn't commented, et cetera, et cetera. And next week, we are getting a deep dive into GTA 6 that we're going to talk about on Drop and Drop Out. But Kamen, you saw this gameplay. I saw this gameplay.
Yep.
Chat, if you didn't see this gameplay, I'm sure it's the links that Coal Mines had actually. Coal Mines broke the scoop in the Discord, which you can join by going to dropanddropoutpod.com. Those links are dead now. Those don't exist anymore. But I'm sure they're up in about 47 other places around the internet. But initial thoughts on how the game looked and some of these like RPG San Andreas style elements that the videos had.
So I hate the idea of needing to get gas, because it just feels like it's going to be frustrating. But also, I felt the same way about certain mechanics of Red Dead Redemption 2 that I ended up enjoying or not bothering me. So I don't know if it's necessarily going to be something that pisses me off that much.
Sure.
What I can say is that if this is true, there were a couple moments, one scene in particular where he's like doing donuts on the interstate, that like, oh my God, this game is photorealistic.
Yeah, it looked good. And this is presumably an old cut.
Right. It is scary, I think, that this game is going to drop. And, like, don't get me wrong, when Red Dead Redemption 2 dropped, it was also photorealistic for what it was at the time. And, like, what we're seeing here makes me feel like we're, like, so close to that point where things are going to get so much worse for us. Because, like,
looks a bit too real.
We a bit too real. We are literally cracking the lid on Pandora's box right now.
Sure.
And that is a little terrifying, but yeah, here's the thing. I mean, Locker just assume that you're not going to do anything else for the remainder of the year when it comes to video games.
Sure.
When this game drops.
Yeah, at first I was watching the videos. I was like, oh, I like the San Andreas isms. Because you know in that game, if you didn't play, it's like you eat and you gain weight, you work out, you gain muscle, those kinds of things. Sounds like they're bringing that back, which I think is fun to me. The gas I do worry is like maybe that's a bit too far. I wonder how they gamify that potentially of like you get certain cars where you like rarely have to fill up the tank. But I did have this moment, and like I know this is alleged, but it's like it's real. This is GTA 6. There's no doubt it's GTA 6. But I looked at it, and like I'm excited for the Netflix thing next week that we're going to cover on the show. But I was watching it, and there was like wind taken out of my sails about this game, where like 3 weeks ago, you could have asked me, Patrick, what do you think GTA 6 is going to look like? And I'm going to be like, oh, it's going to look like GTA 5, but a lot better. Like a lot better. And it's probably going to play the same in a lot of ways. It's going to be GTA. Like it's, they're not going to change the formula too much. But there was something about still having not seen gameplay of it that I was like, what if there's something newer feeling or seeming or different about it that makes it some kind of evolution of the product? And what we saw was just GTA. And so that there was a bit of a like, oh man, I wonder. Now I'm not as excited for next week's video.
Ultimately. What would you think would change that for you? Like, what were you hoping to see?
In a way, I think it's just that it was just raw gameplay, completely out of context. I'm a slut for marketing. Like, I'm sure the way that they're going to show it on Netflix next week is going to be, they probably spent tens of millions of dollars on the production value of what they're going to show us, and it's going to be very curated. And that, I'm sure, is going to look a lot better than what we just saw. And other than just like a random ass guy doing donuts, gets a UPS driver, beats the shit out of him, shoots a basketball hoop in his driveway. It just felt so like generic in a way to me because it was just random ass gameplay from the game. So it's like, it is an unfair perspective that I have, but nonetheless, that is how I felt watching. It's like, oh yeah, it just looks like GTA, but better.
That's interesting. I don't know. I looked at it and was like, this game's gonna get tens across the board.
Yeah.
Like this thing will be probably. I would be shocked if this game isn't in the top 20 highest rated games on Metacritic. So?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I want to when we talk about it next week, maybe we can do some bets on like what the actual score might be. We've had a few conversations about it on content over the months, but now that we're about to get there, I don't know.
Kayla Gray in chat says, do you think expectations have gotten too high for it? I certainly do. Here's the thing. I don't think so. I think that you can never make a Half-Life 3 because the expectations of what that would be are never going to be met.
Sure.
GTA 6, everyone knows exactly what they want from this game, and that is what they're going to get.
Sure.
And that is that they're going to get an even better looking, more expansive, more realistic version of GTA 5. So I don't think that expectations have been set too high.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be people that maybe are like, well, I wish they would have done something different with it. But what does that mean exactly?
Sure.
And I think that's the hard part. But I think people who enjoy GTA, they didn't have any issues with GTA 3, 4, 5, Vice City, San Andreas, all of those games being pretty much just better looking, more expansive, more realistic versions of the last game.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't think that at all. I think the expectations are probably set correctly. I think the one thing, and Sirishard says that it's like PS5 Pro will be at 30 frames per second. A regular PS5 will be at 20 frames per second. More realistic is that it'll play probably base PlayStation 5 will run at 30, sound like a jet engine. PlayStation 5 Pro will run at 30, won't sound like a jet engine.
Sure.
But I don't think, then there's going to be some people that are, upset that it's not running at 60 or 120 frames per second. Entirely up, that's subjective at that point. I think the fact that they're not releasing it on PC at launch is an indication to me that the version of this game that's going to come out is going to be so finely optimized that there will be, because here's the thing, and people are starting to equate this as like a cyberpunk scenario that could happen. And what I really want to nail down with that is that Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 were actually kind of dog shit.
Yeah, for sure.
They weren't good games. And Witcher 3, while it did do something very different, had a lot of issues too. There were times where Roach would just fly up in the air. Yeah. And it was kind of full of bugs. I remember playing it being buggy at launch too, and not super optimized. And so when Cyberpunk released, that was their attempt at making something that was somehow going to be even bigger than that. And I do think that there was a version of that game that was really good and was optimized. That was just for the PC.
Sure.
Because they're not launching it on PC makes me feel like the console version will be so optimized that it is going to be, any bugs that happen are going to be very small or be inconsequential not game breaking. I don't think we're gonna have a Cyberpunk at all situation.
No way. There's no way. There's simply this game has cost too much money and is too big an IP to even approach something like Cyberpunk 2077's launch. Because also, like, yeah, Sierra says, when has Rockstar had a game launch anywhere close to CDPR state? Which is, I think, another part of this is that, to going back to Kayla's question about expectation, I think of their main two franchises, of Red Dead and of Grand Theft Auto, those games have never launched in a way that the consensus majority opinion is this game is amazing. And so, it's like the Naughty Dog debate back in the day of like, at some point they gotta miss, right? And it's like Rockstar is in that same kind of echelon where so far they haven't. You could argue with like some of their other games that they've done, like Bully is not one that people throw rocks at, but it's like that like other type of games they've made over the years of like sometimes those don't quite work for people, but the big ones always deliver. And so I think ultimately I agree with you that like I don't see a world in which the expectations have gotten too high for this game, but I do think that there are a lot of gamers that a Grand Theft Auto like just doesn't speak to anymore. Sure. And I think is maybe where some of the expectation won't hit is if people have it's just not the vibe anymore.
So I would say though, I think one thing that may cause there to be some consternation there is most likely going to be around price point. Of people being frustrated because they haven't. The conversation was pretty heated when it was first announced that there was going to be essentially two versions. Like you're going to lock a lot of stuff behind a price point, and XYZ there. I think that when we get closer to the launch date, I think that that's going to be more. I think it's going to be more people getting more upset by that point. Sure. And that's probably going to be where bad blood is. And there's no world in which there might be a situation in which we might see that there's like a review bomb that happens through like the Metacritic. Like we might see a Metacritic review bomb from like the user scores because of the no PC launch.
Sure.
At launch. So like I think that that's a real possibility, is that it's going to be like the user score is like a 12 and the critic score is like a 97. Yeah, very well could be the case because PC people are fucking psychopaths.
Yeah. Sierra says, haven't they also said that 90% of the pre-orders are for the $100 edition? They probably have. I didn't see that.
I mean, let's be honest. We're both going to pay $100 for the game.
I'm sure we are. Yeah, for sure.
Sucks.
I haven't yet, but I probably will. I did because of Sirius. I did spend $70 on Control Resonant earlier to get it 2 days early on September 22nd.
Very good.
Very good. W Sirius for that scoop, which was not a scoop. I just missed it. Kamen, let's jump into the rest of today's news. A couple different big ones, small ones, and things in between. But I figure let's just jump into the news spotlight. If you're new around here, this is just when all the other topics for the week that we want to talk about are shown. And I want to start with one that I think, depending on the outlook of news for the week, this could have been a topic that we spoke about the entire episode because it's fucking bullshit. This is, again, pulling from VGC, Chris Scullion. I am calling this news story, "The Saber CEO Sucks a Bag of Fucking Cocks." A former lead writer at Saber Interactive, who claimed she was replaced by ChatGPT during the development of one of its games, says she now received a private apology from its CEO after he insulted her in a statement. Last week, Stella Sacco claimed on Blue Sky that she had been replaced on Saber's game Rideshare Stimulator in favor of AI writing tools, also claiming that her boss tried to push back against the decision to start using AI in the game, but that Saber CEO Matt Karch insisted on its use. He went on to say in a statement, in some kind of interview or something, as far as Stella is concerned, she was replaced by someone more talented and terminated for a variety of reasons a few months later. From what I can gather, she enjoys controversy even more than I do. I would frankly, in retrospect, have been happy to replace her with AI. At least we would be dealing with someone programmed to be honest. Unfucking real take for someone to publicly say. And then since then, he has DM'd her and apologized. And she has accepted his apology. She was like, if we don't, try to let people ask for forgiveness, then we're just as bad, whatever, blah blah blah. But she was like, but also fuck him. And so yeah, that is not surprising in the slightest that a CEO would say something like that. But how does he get away with this, Kamen?
Well, I mean, CEOs get away with a lot of things.
That's so true.
I mean, the CEO from Boeing has like murdered a few people, I believe, at this point. Allegedly murdered a few people at this
lawyers
point.
from Boeing.
Yeah, I'm about to get murdered. Someone just a bullet flies through the window, kills me. So I think that CEOs get away with saying crazy shit all the time. I think that this is one of those things that is so fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the fact that everything else around us is so fucking outrageous.
For sure.
That, like, I don't know if this guy doesn't lose his job. He may come out and make a formal half-ass apology where he's like, there were heated times and things were said and blah, 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 and reconciliations happened and XYZ, and then that's that. We never hear about it again. Definitely can see that being a situation that can occur.
Sure.
But just when I read that, oh man,
Unbelievable, yeah. Moving on, and earlier this week we had a PlayStation State of Play for Phantom Blade Zero. Kamen, what'd you think of that State of Play?
So here's the thing. I have zero expectations for Phantom Blade Zero. I genuinely thought that this game was going to look like complete and utter dog shit. We hadn't seen any gameplay for it. And it was just like, this is going to be another one of those Souls-likes that's just going to be so fucking annoying. And it's going to come out 7s. And this is just fucking trash. I fear as though that this might be a sleeper hit. This game looks way too good.
It does look shockingly good. I watched, it was like a 21-minute State of Play. They use the term... now I can't think of it. It's like karate punk, I think
it's Kung Fu Punk.
Kung Fu Punk, thank you. Excuse me, my apologies. They've tried to create a buzzword, and they used it in the State of Play no less than 14 times.
Correct.
But they have a vision for this game, and they are vibing with a vision for this game so hard that as someone who is openly, very loudly, not a Souls-like guy, there's a part toward the end of the State of Play where they talk about difficulty, and that there are several difficulty settings, and that there's like they have ones that are especially harder. And so my hope is that the lower difficulty sections aren't just hard, and that's like more of a medium, because I think I'm gonna play this game. Like,
for sure.
I'm surprised at how much this got me interested, and it's not just because they have hand-drawn maps, Kayla, but it helps that the hand-drawn maps are in this game. But yeah, I was really shocked. I was like, oh, I think I might fuck with Phantom Blade Zero.
Well, they said that it was like, they were like, the first two, like the first option is like because they said these are easiest options. I want to say they make a mention that one of the options is for like story focused, which presumably would be like the easiest. But I really actually vibe with this idea of this like Sifu. Almost talked about that fucking World War II movie about the Norwegian guy that just murders a shit ton of Nazis. Did you see that movie, Sisu?
No, I didn't.
Dude, so fucking good. You got to go check that out. So much fun. It's just a dude killing a bunch of Nazis. And
I mean, sounds like a great concept.
Good. It's very good. Finish.
It's finished, apparently. Very good.
Finish. Thank you. So like the Sifu, where the whole thing is your character is supposed to die in a certain number of days. Yeah. And essentially, if you die in the game, then you lose a day. And so, like, there is like, and then if you end up dying enough times, then that's it.
Yeah, you have game 66 days to beat the game in that. And like when they talked about that, I was like, man, if I was actually good at this game, I would fuck with that mode because it's a cool concept, but it's gonna be not for me. I will be. I can't
wait to watch someone do a speed run of like that, because I love the idea of where they were like, this isn't hard. Like this isn't designed just to be harder. This is designed where characters no longer have move patterns.
Yeah.
And that's like a dynamic difficulty where like they react in real time to you. So like It's very cool, even though I would never be able to beat that. I would get my ass kicked way too many times to be able to enjoy it. But dude, I like watched this Donnie Yen absolutely selling it with his whole ass was in it.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're gonna have 35 weapons that you could cycle through, and all of them have like different things to cater your exact playstyle to what you want it to be, and all of it. And I'm like, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, dude.
And it looks cool as shit. I think it's gonna come out to like an 8. I think it's gonna be an 8 range. But man, I'm excited for it. I don't think I would ever have said this before.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be that like 87, 88 range is my guess. And I'm biased because I did draft this game, but
I think it was a solid pickup on your part.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like I thought it was gonna be good, but it looks so much better than I thought it was gonna be. So that's very exciting. Speaking of games that are better than they have any right being, what if I told you that Simpsons Hit and Run might be coming back?
What?
Yeah. So
no fucking way.
This was at D23 as well. Simpsons creator Matt Groening has maybe teased Simpsons Hit and Run is coming back. During a Simpsons panel at D23, he was asked about a Simpsons movie and if Hit and Run would ever come back. And he said, he said like, oh, wouldn't it be great if the movie, like we did another movie or something. But then about Hit and Run, he said, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I think the original game is coming back in some form. And then he was cut off by the Simpsons showrunner and he said, or not, maybe, and like cut him off. So it could go either way. Maybe he was wrong about it, but that does not sound like something that he's wrong about. That sounds like we are getting some kind of remaster of Hit and Run in the near future.
So here's the thing. There was a fan remaster of the game, but because of all of the things, like it'll never ever see the light of day. But this dude literally recreated it from the ground up.
Oh yeah.
And it looks incredible. And he was basically just like, if they would just say yes, like I'll give them the code. They can publish it exactly as is. Like you don't have to do any work. But they were basically like, send him a letter being like, so happy that you love this game so much that you would do this. Don't you fucking dare let anyone play it.
Damn.
And so maybe the reason they were doing that is because in development was like a Simpsons Hit and Run 2.
Maybe.
You know?
I mean, it does sound like it's maybe just going to be the original game.
Honestly, I'm totally fine with that. If and only if they adjust the difficulty.
Oh, sure.
Because good lord, that game with the rubber banding, with the racing, and then just that last mission in the game was a goddamn nightmare.
It's been so long since I played it, I don't remember, but I believe it with it being a game of that time. And then another news, this is a game that we both love, Kamen. Fortnite in the news. Fortnite's next season has been revealed, and it's a retro gaming extravaganza with new playable characters like Sonic, Tails, Dr. Eggman, Shadow, Sora, Joker, Crash, Spyro, Mega Man, Rush, Pac-Man, and Tetris. And many more to be announced. Those are just the new ones. So very excited for people.
Hold on, I want to see what these guys look like.
Sonic looks freaky.
I bet the Sonic characters have to look all fucked up.
Kayla says there's a Disney World actual ride in the new season. That sounds cool.
Okay, I'm looking at the picture of Mega Man, and I'm like, brother, why are your legs so long? What does Sonic look like?
I'm
looking this up. Well, show me this.
Fortnite new season images. Override.
Oh, why? No, that's not. That is.
Come on.
That is. I don't like that.
Open link in new tab. Did this work? Oh, it almost worked. Can I scroll down? No, I can't. Let's do this.
It's like they're all of the characters, their legs are just way too long.
Yeah, tall Sonic, I know Josh is with me, freaks me out, I mean. And Mega Man, very tall. But then it's so weird, like some characters like Spyro looks exactly like Spyro, but then it's like, how
the fuck is Spyro in the game?
Right, it's like, how is Spyro gonna work? But then you had to make Sonic tall. It's just, so I'm very interested to see from that standpoint.
Are the guns like on his back or something? Like
I don't know. I wonder if maybe some of these characters that are super specific, like Spyro.
What is a sidekick?
Oh, so they're the ones that were like when you fly in or whatever, it can like be with you, I guess.
Maybe I don't know anything about this. Fucking, and I'm looking at goddamn Crash Bandicoot, who's like also got way too long legs.
Kayla or Josh, if you guys know the answers to this and want to jump in on audio, feel free to. Because you have the
Pac-Man. Pac-Man. What is his? Does he have super long? Oh, no.
Well, so I'll at least give Pac-Man some grace, because that is just a 3D Pac-Man from like the 3D platforming games. That's exactly what he looked like in those games. So
wait, he's got like really long legs in the games?
He's got legs, maybe not long legs. They're pretty short legs.
I've just like found a picture of him in here. Like the cloud, and he's got, no, maybe not. Maybe he looks a little more normal.
Kayla says, I don't know anything about these folks. I thought you were a Fork Knife Sifo. Sifo, I said sicko. You don't know everything about Fork Knife? Unbelievable. Well, that's okay. We can move on. Spyro was like a pet. They added that option, so he just runs next to you. This is what Josh says. Very interesting.
Wait, can you kill someone's pet?
I guess if you kill them, maybe you kill their pet. If you guys play this game? You guys are sick. You need help. Fucking hell. Okay, Josh says no. Okay, I see why you play this game then, if you can't kill pets. Here's some new games coming to a bunch of the different services. Game Pass, we're getting 10 new games coming this month, egging on. Most of these games actually, I don't think matter to people. I'll just say the one that maybe will. Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy, coming to Game Pass, which is exciting for people that have Game Pass, I'm sure. But also worth mentioning, Another Crab's Treasure, I Am Your Beast, and The Witcher 3 among a handful of games leaving Game Pass. So play those if you haven't yet. Super Mario Sunshine, now available on the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube library. And finally, PlayStation Plus is adding Helldivers 2, Vampire Survivors, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this month as well. PlayStation Plus been on a bit of a tear lately, Kamen.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has.
This is like the third or fourth month in a row where I'm like, this feels like PlayStation Plus 13 years ago when it was like every month was a banger.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, like what they're launching, and I definitely think that bang for your buck here. Like, sure, yeah, you're not getting Plague Tale Resonance, right off the get go, which I'm pretty sure I drafted that game.
I think you did.
So like, well, sure, you're not getting that. You're also getting like some really good titles. Like, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I agree. A few more here. Ghost of Yote. Did you ever finish Ghost of Yote, Kamen?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I just never went back to Platinum it, which I really should.
Same to that too. Well, we're getting a new story expansion and a roguelike mode in October. I don't really know what a Ghost of Yote roguelike mode will be, but they're doing it. And this is going to also come with a complete edition for sale as well for, I think, an additional $15. It's just like a special edition, I guess, with all the content. So, it's the kind of thing where I love when games do this on paper, but then it's like, man, it sucks that I played this early, because, like, I say early, on time.
Right.
Because now it's been so long that it's like, I don't remember how to play that game, and that game's combat is not easy. So I probably
it's hard to. That is true. The last time I tried to like pick it up, I was like, God damn it! I have no idea how to play this game anymore, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to platinum it.
Yeah. Jake says the only thing completing around here is me. You could have completed earlier if you were here to talk about Kingdom Hearts, but
yeah, you fucked up. You fucked up.
Speaking of fucking up, the Duskbloods, the codes went out this week. Network test this weekend. So if you applied to be in the network test, check your inbox. I didn't. I forgot. No one at Dido got this. I think no one is interested in the Duskbloods, so we won't be playing that. Sierra says apparently the GTA footage that was leaked was from a year ago, by the way. Huh. 2025. What a year. Worst year of my life. Deus Ex creator Warren Spector is retiring from game dev because it's just not fun anymore. Brother, I get it.
No, dude, have you fucking looked?
Yeah. Shuhei Yoshida told Claire Obscure Studio not to call it a turn-based RPG because it would turn people off. Instead, he told them to call it a reactive turn-based battle system. So, like, games journalism publishes this kind of story.
Yeah, that's definitely a story that...
That's not a story.
That is a story.
Oh boy. High Score Weekly, you should talk about how Nintendo added physical achievements. The Donkey Kong Challenge unlocks digital cards, but they just announced if you get them all, they mail you physical ones. I had no idea. I haven't done any of those challenges, but I might go do them. Kamen, can you believe 9/11 in the news today?
Again?
Again. 9/11 impacted Activision's 2003 shooter Star Trek Elite Force 2. It was rewritten because it was originally about a terror attack on a Starfleet academy. What do you think about that?
Damn. I think that's pretty intense. Yeah. It's almost like we never forgot.
We never did. Not 2 years later, at least. Last couple. Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki says the PS6 release date is still unknown. What am I doing here?
Good.
There was a point today that I put these together that I thought it was worth reading these out loud. And here I am reading them like, fuck, what am I doing? I'll skip ahead to the last one. And this actually goes in line with your episode on Dido the other week because it's about No Man's Sky's creator, Hello Games. Hello Games boss says Light No Fire is crazy and ambitious, but he's too happy working on it to show it off yet.
Good.
No Man's Sky.
You learned. Yeah. You learned some things, Sean Murray. I mean, he definitely has learned some things. Like, shout out to Sean Murray for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Actually, I do want to bring in one last one. I'll just read the last two. This one's sad. Netflix is shutting down Oxenfree Studio Night School 6 weeks after they published the last game, which is a fucking tragedy. Because Oxenfree, both of those games are great, and unfortunately, they are not going to be making games anymore. So fuck Netflix. But also, fuck Asha Sharma. Asha Sharma says The Elder Scrolls 6 is incredible as Bethesda protesters put up a giant rat outside the building in protest, which I think is very funny. Just think about the CEO of a $1 trillion company coming to town to look at your game. And she pulls up in the parking lot and there's a giant rat outside in protest of layoffs. It's based as fuck. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Good for them. You know that there was a moment where she walks inside that building and she just looks at someone and is like, "You're fucking fired." And that person's like, "Ma'am, I'm a janitor."
Me?
She's like, "Yeah, but someone's got to get fired for me to feel happy."
They said,
"Just what fucking, just such
a Wendy's.
Bullshit fucking people." Like,
yeah,
the tone deafness of people in the games industry, like CEOs in the game industry. These people might be more tone deaf than CEOs in like anywhere else.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. Especially a company as big as Microsoft. Come on. Easy.
Which is such an interesting thing. I was reading this thing about how, so back in the day, Ford was, there was a Supreme Court lawsuit between Ford and Dodge that essentially stated that you couldn't make decisions as a CEO that would hurt your company financially just to put other businesses out of business. Like, legally, you couldn't do that because what was happening was Ford was essentially being like, "I'm going to cut costs so tremendously that what'll end up occurring is we can push the Dodge out and get rid of them because they can't be able to afford to be in this competition anymore because I can do that." So it goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's like, "Yeah, you can't do that." And then all of a sudden, for some reason, at that point, people were like, "So you mean that we have to, every decision we make has to be in the benefit of shareholders?" It's like, no. No, it's just that you can't do things that are bad to your company to force other companies to close.
Right.
And they're like, right. So we have to do what the shareholders tell us to do. They're like, "No, that's not what we said to do." And they're like, "So shareholder over stakeholder." And it was like, and then here we are now, fast forward 2026. Here we are, that a ruling that people just think it's illegal. They just think it's illegal to do things that are like going to piss off your shareholders. It's not illegal.
It's true. It's true. Well, with that, I think that's the perfect way to end this show. Fuck the shareholders.
I hate it here.
Wait. Oh, fuck. Whose side am I on? Cog, you got here right at the right time because we are about to go say hello to D Guns, who's playing some Pragmata, a sleeper hit of 2026 that no one saw coming.
For sure.
Folks, I hope to see you tomorrow night at the Song Battle Jamboree. I hope to see you Thursday night when we talk video games with Rahul Kohli right here on twitch.tv/drop in, drop out pod. But for now, go say hi to D Guns, and we will see you next time on Spotlight Games. Bye bye.